This is China's emptiest city. Just 48 hours ago, I picked a random spot on the map, bought a train ticket, booked a hotel, and ended up here, a city I have never heard of. When I arrived, I saw tall skyscrapers, historic attractions, endless apartment blocks, and the most incredible hotel I've ever stayed in. But somehow, it all felt completely empty. Today, we'll be exploring this mystery city to see why this place might just be my new favorite destination here in China. I've come to this place called the Tongtianyan Grottoes. This is another one of China's quadruple A tourist sites, which basically means it carries some very strong historical significance. Just a few kilometers outside of Ganzhou is Tongtian Rock, one of the most important grotto complexes in southern China. From the outside, it looks like any other red sandstone cliff, but carved into these rocks are centuries of Buddhist devotion. Looking at these rocks over here, it makes me feel a lot like I'm back in Utah. They have that red rock sandstone type of appearance, except I am not in a desert. I am in the middle of a very green, lush, humid forest. The grottos began in the Tang Dynasty and flourished in the Song, and today there are more than 300 niches and statues still preserved here. Some are small, made by local believers offering prayers for blessings. Others are massive and more complex. So in the sandstone, they have a lot of different carvings here. You can see where there's like a square where they had written different words on it. But it looks like over the years, they've kind of become faded and you can't really see what it says anymore. Wang Yangming, one of China's greatest philosophers, once lectured right here in these caves. He believed that true knowledge comes from the heart and that wisdom has no value unless it's put into action. Standing in a place like this, you can almost imagine how his ideas took shape. Even in the middle of summer, cool breezes drift between the cliffs, and the sound of leaves echoes throughout the valley floors. Standing here, surrounded by carvings that have survived nearly 1,000 years, you feel the mix of history, faith, and philosophy etched into every stone. I can see why this location was chosen many hundreds of years ago. There's a certain serenity or peaceful aspect to it. For me, visiting these grottos wasn't just about history. I had been feeling so engulfed with the pressures of everyday life, but walking through here, surrounded by 1,000 years of quiet devotion, I felt something shift within myself. Buddhism teaches the idea of letting go, of detaching from the constant cycle of craving and worry. And that's exactly what it felt like here. The gentle sounds of insects, the cool air in the caves, the faces of these Buddhas carved into the stone, it all pushed me to slow down, to breathe, and to realize how small my problems really are in the face of history. These statues weren't made to impress. They were made as offerings, as reminders of patience, compassion, and impermanence. And standing here, I could almost feel that message reaching across the centuries. For the first time in a long while, I felt like I could detach, even if just for a moment, and just be. It's so humid in this grotto. It's kind of like an odd mix between being cold and hot at the same time. If I stop and there's a breeze, it feels cold, and yet I'm sweating like crazy in here. Inside the park here, there's a couple mountains that you can climb. That'll take you up to get a really good view of the surrounding area. It's also nice because up here it's more breezy and it's not so humid like it is down in between the rocks. I've been sitting up here for at least 30 minutes now. Not a single person has come up here. It's so nice. While I definitely want to stay up on that mountain a little bit longer, there's still so many interesting locations in this city to go and visit. I'm going to walk to one more pavilion over here. And then after that, I think I'm going to head over to the Hakka village or Hakka Cultural Center. They say that Ganzhou is the capital of Hakka culture. Over 90% of the population here are Hakka descendants. If you really want to understand the Hakka people, you have to start here in Ganzhou. This city is often called the cradle of Hakka culture. The story begins nearly 1,700 years ago. Waves of people were fleeing war and turmoil in northern and central China. They migrated south, carrying their traditions, their dialect, and their family structures with them. When they arrived in the mountains and valleys around Ganzhou, they found both challenges and opportunities. They built fortified communal homes known as weiwu, or walled villages, square on the outside, round on the inside. These homes weren't just for shelter, they were designed for defense, community, and survival. At the same time, the Hakka identity began to take shape. Hardworking, resilient, and deeply rooted in family and clan traditions. Ganzhou became the center of this culture. From here, the Hakka spread across China into Guangdong, Fujian, and beyond, to Taiwan, Southeast Asia, and even across the world. But it all traces back here, to this region, where migration and resilience forged a culture that still thrives today. Walking through the Hakka Cultural City, you'll see it reflected in the ancestral halls, the clan shrines, and the round courtyards. This isn't just a museum, it's a reminder of how migration, struggle, and adaptation created one of the most distinctive cultures in China.
For my next location, there is an 800-year-old floating bridge that is still in use to this day. I could call a taxi, but it's like an hour scooter ride from here. I'm going to take advantage of these scooters while I have them because they're a lot of fun to ride.
After a short ride on the electric scooter, I arrived at China's oldest floating bridge.
So kind of funny, but it turns out the bridge is actually right next to the area I was in last night, next to the old ancient city. The bridge is actually just below the side of the city walls. I didn't come over this far. It got really dark and there was a lot of bugs coming out.
This bridge was originally built 850 years ago, although throughout the centuries it has been repaired and rebuilt multiple times. What was most interesting to me about this bridge was that it was not just a relic of the past, but an actual part of Ganzhou's local community. While many of the places I visited seemed quite empty, it felt like the life of the city was here on this bridge. There were street food vendors selling all kinds of snacks, and boats docked to the bridge selling dried fish. There were people that came to the bridge to fish, and tons of people who came to the bridge to swim in the river. And this is what struck me most. This bridge isn't just a piece of history, it's a window into the Chinese way of life. In so many cities across China, community gathers in shared spaces like this. It's not always in coffee shops or shopping malls. It's in public squares, on riverbanks, at the neighborhood park, or here, on a floating bridge that's been around for centuries. People come not just to buy food or sell fish. People come here to connect, to socialize, and to enjoy life together.
On the other side of the bridge, they have a really nice art village. They have a lot of really old houses where they put murals on the walls, random art decorations around here like this tree. China has become really good at transforming old villages into artistic centers, just like this.
While this village had many of the perks that come with modernization, on my way to dinner I stumbled across a village on the opposite side of the river that told a very different story.
This neighborhood here is 1,000 years old. Seems like a lot of the houses here, probably as expected, are falling apart, a lot of them abandoned. But it's very impressive that this village is still here 1,000 years later. So a lot of these houses have broken windows. If we could take a look inside and you can see what these houses look like on the inside. It's weird that there's not that many people wandering through this. It's a little bit creepy. Like everything here is just kind of abandoned. Honestly, I don't think any of these are being resided in at this point. Wow. Inside this whole array of abandoned ancient buildings, there's one restaurant that's in operation right now. I think I'm going to give this a try.
你会吃辣像我们那个鸭子也还可以，你可以点个鸭子，这个是比较有味下饭的，你点个这个鸭子，再点一碗米饭。
Okay. So my waiter recommended I order this duck. Got people fighting over the bill. This is Chinese culture after all. This is what you do. When you go to pay for the bill, it's a fight to see who can pay. So I've eaten a few pieces of this duck. I'm still trying to decipher what the taste is. I definitely feel like there's some alcohol that they cooked in here. It's quite spicy, but to be honest, I don't think I've ever eaten anything like this before. This is a very unique flavor. It has a slight like herbal taste, but I can't tell you what it is. Like it's definitely not a bad flavor, but the flavor is so unique that I can't compare it to anything else. Eating this, I feel like it's like looking at a new color that you've never seen before. If someone hasn't seen it before, you can't describe it to them. And that's how I feel about this duck. It's like, I don't know what it tastes like. All I can say is I like the flavor, I like the duck. Very soft, very tender. It's got a lot of big garlic cloves, a lot of chili peppers, so there's definitely a lot of spice to this. But what this broth is, I can't tell you. I've never tasted anything like this before. Well, we've reached the end of my adventure here in Ganzhou. I'm going to Guangzhou tomorrow. I don't think I'll do a video here because I'm going skiing again. I've done one video on that before, so you can find out my channel if you're interested. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, help me out. Click the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.